everybody, it's Father Casey, the pastor of the Epiphany of Our Lord Church, and I welcome you once again to our YouTube channel, The Fourth Magi. Many of us are familiar with the concept of a care package. Something we send to a loved one that may be serving in the military, who may be away at college, but we send them things because we want them to realize that we haven't forgotten them. We send them things that remind them of home, and it's really to show them that we care. That's why we call it a care package. So this Sunday, Jesus and God the Father gives the apostles a care package. Not in the traditional sense, if you will, but when Jesus enters the upper room, he enters a gathering of the apostles who have gathered out of fear. They are hiding in the upper room. They're hiding from the authorities who possibly could do the very things that they did to Jesus. So the first thing that Jesus says to them is not, "Yo, cuz," or "Woohoo!" It's Jesus in the house. No, the first thing that Jesus says to them is, "Peace be with you." Now, that's a constant theme we find after the resurrection of Jesus. It's shalom. You're familiar with the word shalom. And it's a peace, but it's not peace like, the peace that the world offers. It's a theological peace. It's very deep in its concept, because the peace that Jesus offers in his shalom is a peace that is offered in the midst of a crisis. You see, the world would tell you that we'll have peace when there's the absence of problems. There's the absence of conflict, the absence of war, and therefore we'll have peace. But let's face it, the world's been around a long time, and there has never been a time where there wasn't war, there wasn't conflict, there weren't problems, because that's the way the world works. And so the peace of Jesus, the shalom of Jesus, is a peace that exists in the midst of conflict, in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of problems that we have in our lives. Well, we're living life on life's terms, but we have a peace that only can come from God, because we are able to deal with those issues, those conflicts, those problems, that turmoil, because it's a spiritual peace. You see, you're not going to get that time where there aren't any problems or conflict or issues. It's just never going to happen. So if we wait for that, it will never come. And so Jesus offers peace because these men are afraid. They are fearful. They are not at peace with the world, with each other, and they are not at peace with themselves. In a matter of 24 hours, they celebrated with Jesus, and then they saw him arrested, put on trial, tortured, and executed publicly. And so their worlds have been turned upside down. So they are not at peace with themselves. And on top of that, they've also run away from Jesus. At the moment, at the hour that he needed them most to stand up for him, maybe to fight for him, to defend him in some way, shape, or form, they all ran away. So they are not at peace with themselves because they have shown themselves to be cowardly, to be unfaithful to Jesus. And so they are caught up in this turmoil in this room that they hide out in. And yet Jesus comes into the midst of them and says, "Peace be with you." Because this is the care package that they need. They need peace because they have no peace. They are filled with anxiety and fear and turmoil within them. And so Jesus offers them peace. Now you and I, we search for peace, hopefully. Yet there are people, maybe it's ourselves, but we know people in our lives that search out turmoil and chaos. They actually look for times when there's gossip and there's arguing and fighting, and they kind of thrive on that. And there are people who don't want peace. In fact, when they find themselves in times of quietude, of absence of problems, they don't know what to do with themselves. They need chaos. And yet, we should search for peace. Because the world offers enough chaos. The world offers enough problems. And we don't have to search far and wide to find them. But you and I should be searching for peace. There should be ways and means, people, places, and things in which we find peace that offer us serenity. And that might be, I'll speak for myself. Reading a good book, listening to quality music, classical or jazz. Mostly it's jazz. Praying and meditating. The beach. I find it to be God's cathedral in many ways. But there are things in my life that I must search for to find peace and serenity. It's just not going to come to me. I have to actively search for it. Places like the chapel in the rectory, or the shrine at Czestochowa in Doylestown, or many other places where I will go to in order to find some peace, some serenity. And I have to actively do that. And I have to avoid people that bring chaos and disquietude into my life. That's what I need to do. I need to avoid them and say, you know what, I don't need that in my life right now. They're not serving any purpose except to disturb my spirit and did not give me serenity. And so, you and I, to find peace, the peace that God offers us, we must, first of all, search it out. Make time to meet with God and receive the serenity that He offers us. But to avoid the people, places, and things that will disturb our spirit, that will not bring us peace, but will only give us anxiety and fear and chaos. And there's plenty of people like that because they don't know peace in their own lives and they don't want you to have it, so they want to come and disturb your peace. They have no problem doing that. So this week, let us receive the care package that God gives us, the peace, the shalom that He offers the apostles, but He offers to us as well. No matter what we're going through, that God can give us serenity in the midst of fear and other worldly anxieties. So God bless you, and as Jesus says to us, I say to you, peace be with you.